Have you ever felt like your mind has a life of its own? Like your thoughts are running wild, dragging you from one worry to the next, leaving you restless, anxious, maybe even exhausted. In today's fast-paced, overstimulated world, you're not alone. Most of us are constantly caught in the noise. Deadlines, comparisons, regrets, fears. It's like being stuck in a crowded room where every voice is shouting and none of them are truly you. But what if I told you, you don't have to live this way? You don't have to keep drowning in this mental noise. There's a way to calm the storm, not by forcing your thoughts to disappear, but by learning how to relate to them differently. For centuries, Buddhist wisdom, especially in the Zen tradition, has offered a gentle yet powerful approach to working with the mind. It teaches us not to fight our thoughts, but to see them clearly, not to silence them, but to soften our reaction to them, to move from chaos to clarity. Through mindfulness, self-awareness, and compassion, we can reshape our inner world, one breath, one moment at a time. And that's what this video is all about. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 simple yet profound Buddhist lessons that will help you reclaim your mind, quiet your thoughts, and rediscover the peace that's always been inside you. You don't need to become a monk, move to a temple, or renounce your life. You just need to begin right where you are. So take a breath, settle in, and let's begin this journey inward together. Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself thinking a thought and then immediately judging it? Maybe it sounds like, why am I still feeling this way? Or, I shouldn't be thinking this. Or worse, what's wrong with me? We don't just have thoughts. We react to them, fight them, label them as good, bad, silly, or shameful. And that is where the suffering begins. The mind is like the sky, vast, open, peaceful at its core. And your thoughts, they're just clouds. Some are dark and heavy, others light and fleeting, but all of them pass. The moment you stop identifying with the cloud and start remembering the sky, you reclaim your peace. There's a powerful parable in Buddhism. Imagine being struck by an arrow. That pain is real, it's life. But then you strike yourself again with a second arrow, made of anger, fear, and self-blame. The first arrow is unavoidable. The second, that's a choice. Most of us carry a mind full of second arrows, self-inflicted wounds from harsh judgment. But what if you simply observed your thoughts without reacting to them? This is the essence of mindfulness, not to fix, not to suppress, but to notice and let go. Here's a simple practice. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Let your thoughts float by like leaves on a stream. Don't chase them. Don't resist them. And if a judgment arises, that's a dumb thought. Why am I like this? Gently say, that's just a judgment, and let that pass too. You're not here to conquer your thoughts. You're here to be free from their grip. With time, this practice will reshape your mind. You'll become calmer, less reactive, and more rooted in peace. Because the sky was never broken, you just forgot to look up. Lesson 2, simplify your mental space. Let's be honest, most of our stress doesn't come from what's happening right now. It comes from the endless clutter we carry inside our minds. Deadlines we haven't met, conversations we replay, worries about tomorrow, regrets about yesterday. Our minds are constantly overloaded with thoughts that don't serve us. Yet we hold on to them like they're essential. And over time, this inner clutter makes it nearly impossible to feel calm, present, or at peace. In Zen philosophy, there's a simple but powerful truth. Simplicity is freedom. Just as a messy room can make it hard to breathe, a mind full of noise makes it hard to think clearly. You wouldn't try to meditate in a room filled with chaos, so why expect peace in a mind filled with chaos? When the mental space is packed with unnecessary thoughts, there's no room for clarity to enter. But here's the good news. Simplifying your mind doesn't require you to eliminate all your responsibilities. It only asks you to let go of what's not essential, what drains your energy without adding value. And most of the time, that's not the big things. It's the small, subtle worries that pile up unnoticed. Like mental pebbles in your shoes, you don't see them, but they wear you down all the same. So how do we begin to declutter this invisible space? Start small. Each day choose just one unnecessary thought, a worry, a self-doubt, a repetitive memory, and let it go. Say to yourself gently, I don't need to carry this anymore. You might not believe it at first, but repetition creates rewiring. Intention creates change. Think of your mental space like a garden. Every time you release a weed, a useless thought, you make room for peace to grow. You'll notice that your focus sharpens, your breath deepens, and your heart feels lighter. Not because life got easier, but because your mind got clearer. This practice doesn't need to be perfect. You'll still have busy days, and your mind will still get messy sometimes. But if you commit to clearing just a little space every day, it adds up. It becomes a quiet revolution, one breath, one release at a time. And here's the beautiful part. When you simplify inside, you start to see simplicity outside. You make clearer choices. You let go more easily. You respond rather than react. In that space, peace becomes not something you search for, but something you remember, because it was always there, beneath the clutter. So today, ask yourself gently, what can I release? What thought can I leave behind? And as we move forward, we'll explore even deeper ways to unhook from the patterns that keep us stuck. Because beyond simplicity lies something even more liberating, the power to live in the present. And that is exactly what we'll talk about next. Lesson 3. Understand impermanence. All thoughts will pass. There's a quiet truth at the heart of Buddhist wisdom, one that can change the way we relate to every experience in life. It's called Anicca, or impermanence. The understanding that everything, no matter how strong, painful, or joyful, will eventually pass. Our bodies age, our emotions rise and fall, and even our most persistent thoughts are just temporary visitors. Still, we often suffer most when we forget this simple truth. When sadness arrives, we believe it's here to stay. When fear creeps in, we treat it as a permanent part of who we are. And when anxiety lingers, we assume something is wrong with us, rather than recognizing that it too will pass. But the practice of Anicca teaches us to loosen our grip. It reminds us that every feeling is like a wave, and every thought is like a passing cloud. They don't define us. They simply arise, move through, and dissolve, unless we hold on to them. Imagine sitting beside a flowing river. Each thought is a leaf drifting downstream. You don't need to reach for it. You just observe. There's a worry, there's some regret, there's a craving, and let it float away. You are not the leaf. You are the one who watches. Clinging to thoughts is like trying to grasp smoke. It only makes things blurrier. And yet, most of us go through life holding tightly to emotions that were never meant to stay. The more we identify with them, the more power they gain over us. So here's a simple but powerful practice. When a strong thought or emotion arises, maybe it's anxiety, disappointment, or fear, pause. Take a slow breath and softly remind yourself, this is temporary. Just like everything else, it will pass. This simple sentence is like a release valve for the mind, offering space where there was once tension. You're not denying your emotions. You're simply refusing to be ruled by them. You're learning to sit in the storm without becoming the storm. And over time, this gentle practice builds a resilient kind of peace, one that doesn't rely on perfect conditions, but on deep understanding. Let go of the belief that your thoughts are facts. They're not. They're weather. You are the sky, still, wide, unshaken. And no matter how long the storm lasts, the blue sky always returns. As we continue on this path, the next step will help us stay grounded in that open sky. It's about embracing the only moment that truly belongs to us, the present. And that is exactly what we'll explore next. Lesson 4. Detach from the ego. You are not your thoughts. The ego isn't something we're born with. It's something we build piece by piece. Every time we say, this is who I am, based on a passing thought. It forms when we attach to ideas like, I'm not good enough, I should be better, I deserve more, or even I'm special. Whether the thought is self-defeating or self-glorifying, the ego feeds on identification. It turns momentary thoughts into fixed identity. And once that cycle starts, it pulls us deeper into mental loops of comparison, doubt, and self-judgment. But here's a quiet shift that changes everything. You are not your thoughts, you are the one who observes them. You are the witness behind the words, the stillness beneath the noise. Just like clouds don't stain the sky, your thoughts don't define your essence. The problem arises only when we mistake the cloud for the sky. That's why Buddhist practice teaches us to create space between what arises in the mind and who we truly are. One powerful mantra to repeat is, "Nothing in me created this thought. It's just passing through." With this awareness, a thought loses its grip. The tension softens. You regain choice. When you realize that thoughts aren't authored by your true self, you no longer feel obligated to believe or act on them. This is not detachment through avoidance, but through gentle observation and wise separation. You step back from the noise and reclaim inner quiet, not by force, but by understanding. The ego only thrives when we forget there's a difference. Over time, this distance becomes your strength. You stop reacting so quickly. You start responding with intention. Life becomes less about proving yourself and more about meeting each moment as it is, without a script, without a mask. And in that space, you'll feel a different kind of freedom. Not the freedom to be someone special, but the freedom to simply be, free from the pressure to fix, to justify, or to perform. Just presence, just awareness, just you, untangled and at ease. So the next time your mind says, "This is who I am," pause, breathe, and ask, "Is it really?" Most of the time, you'll find the answer is no. And in that quiet no, a deeper yes to life begins to unfold. As we continue, we'll move towards something equally profound. How to stay anchored in the only place the ego cannot survive, the here and now. And that is where true peace starts to take root. Lesson 5. Cultivate compassionate thinking. Kindness begins in the mind. So much of our inner suffering comes from one quiet habit we don't often notice. Harsh self-judgment. That critical voice in the back of your mind that says you're not enough, that you've failed, that you should have known better. And when it's not turned inward, it often turns outward, toward others, through impatience, comparison, or blame. These subtle forms of negativity create emotional tension, distance in relationships, and a constant sense of not being at peace. But here's the truth: compassion is not just a feeling. It's a practice, a way of relating to ourselves and others with softness instead of sharpness, with presence instead of pressure. And in Buddhism, there is a powerful method to train this way of thinking. It's called metta meditation, or loving kindness meditation. Metta doesn't require you to change your personality or pretend to be cheerful. It simply invites you to become aware of the seeds you're planting in your own mind. Every thought is a seed. If you constantly water judgment, resentment, and criticism, that's what will grow. But if you choose to nurture kindness, patience, and empathy, your mind becomes a softer, more healing place to live in. Here's a simple practice you can begin with today. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Close your eyes, breathe deeply and slowly, and silently repeat to yourself, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering." Don't force the words to feel true. Just let them flow gently, like a lullaby to your heart. This is not about perfection, it's about intention. After you've directed this loving kindness toward yourself, bring someone you love to mind. Picture their face, their energy, and silently say, "May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering." Then extend it further to someone you feel neutral toward, a stranger perhaps. And finally, the hardest part, bring into your awareness someone you struggle with, someone who may have hurt you, frustrated you, or misunderstood you. This step may feel impossible at first, but that's exactly why it's the most powerful. Offering kindness to those we resist softens our own hearts, not because they deserve it, but because we deserve to be free from the bitterness that binds us. With time, this practice transforms your thinking from reactive to receptive. You begin to meet your thoughts with more curiosity than control, more care than criticism. The sharp edges of your inner dialogue begin to round out. You feel less like a battlefield and more like a sanctuary. And the beauty of compassion is that it's cyclical. When you offer it, you receive it. When you stop treating yourself like a problem to fix, you start becoming someone you can trust, someone safe, kind, and deeply human. So the next time a negative thought rises about yourself or someone else, pause, and instead of feeding the same old loop, plant a different seed. Whisper, "May I meet this moment with kindness." That one sentence might not change the world, but it will begin to change yours. And as we go further, we'll look at how clearing out not just our thoughts, but our entire mental space creates the environment where peace can truly take root. That's what awaits in the next lesson. Lesson 6. Live in the present moment, the only place peace can exist. So much of the noise in our minds isn't really about what's happening now. It's about what already happened, or what we think might happen next. Regrets from the past echo like old songs we didn't choose. Worries about the future play out like movies in our heads, scenes we've rehearsed but never lived. And in the middle of all that mental time travel, we miss the only place we ever truly are. Right here, right now. Zen teachings remind us gently, only the present moment is real. The past is a memory, the future is imagination. But this breath, this step, this sip of tea, that is where life is actually happening. When we live too long in the past, we carry weight that was never meant to be permanent. When we jump too far into the future, we borrow stress that doesn't belong to us yet. But the present, quiet, overlooked, and always available, is where peace patiently waits. So how do we return to now? Not by force, but by attention. Even the simplest moment can become sacred if we're fully in it. Imagine this. You sit with a warm cup of tea in your hands. Instead of letting your mind wander to yesterday's mistake or tomorrow's tasks, you give yourself completely to the experience. Feel the heat of the cup in your palms. Smell the soft aroma rising with the steam. Notice the gentle warmth as it moves across your lips. For those few seconds, nothing else matters. And that's the gift of presence. It doesn't require silence. It just needs your attention. One practical way to anchor yourself in the now is through the 5 senses exercise. When your thoughts feel scattered, pause and ask yourself, what are 5 things I can see? What are 4 things I can touch? 3 sounds I can hear? 2 scents I can smell? And 1 thing I can taste right now? This simple check-in shifts your awareness away from mental loops and back into your body, into reality. The more you practice, the more your mind learns to return, like a bird learning its way back home. And over time, presence becomes less of a technique and more of a natural way of being. Life slows down, not because there's less to do, but because you're no longer lost in everything that doesn't matter. So the next time your mind starts rushing into the future or reaching back into the past, take a breath. Gently guide yourself back to now. This moment may be small, but it holds everything you need. And as we journey on, we'll explore how choosing simplicity in your inner life can open up a clarity that changes everything. That's where we're headed next. Lesson 7. Mindful breathing. Return to stillness, one breath at a time. In a world that moves fast, where the mind is constantly pulled in every direction, there is one thread that gently brings us back to center, our breath. Anapanasati, the practice of mindful breathing, has been a core meditation technique in Buddhism for over 2,000 years. It means simply to observe the breath, the inhale, the exhale, just as it is, without changing or judging. Our thoughts are like waves, restless, endless, crashing in and pulling us away. But the breath, it's always here, quiet, patient, unwavering. Every time we return to it, we're not just calming the mind, we're returning home to ourselves. Unlike thoughts, which belong to the past or the future, the breath is always rooted in the now. That's why breathing mindfully is one of the most direct and gentle ways to step out of overthinking and back into presence. You don't need any special technique. Just sit, close your eyes, and feel the air moving in and out through your nose. Feel the coolness of the inhale, the warmth of the exhale. Don't try to control it, just notice it. And when, not if, your mind starts to wander, when a thought carries you away, simply acknowledge it and with tenderness return to the breath. No blame, no judgment, just return. You can do this for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10. What matters is not the length of time, but the quality of your attention. It's like tuning an instrument. Each breath is a gentle adjustment back to balance, back to clarity. And over time, this simple ritual becomes a refuge. The more you practice, the more you'll notice space opening within you. Not silence that's empty, but silence that's alive. It's in that space that your insights will rise, not through effort, but through stillness. Because when the mind grows quiet, wisdom has room to speak. This practice is not about escaping life. It's about returning to it fully. Returning to this body, this breath, this moment. When the mind wants to run, the breath teaches you to stay. When life feels too much, the breath offers just enough. So the next time your thoughts feel loud and scattered, sit down, close your eyes, and take one gentle, conscious breath. Then another, then another. And notice, peace isn't somewhere far away. It's already here, hiding in the pause between each breath. We've walked together through 7 simple but powerful teachings, stepping stones toward mastering your mind. And now, as this video gently comes to a close, I want to leave you with one quiet truth. Mastering your thoughts doesn't mean eliminating them. It means you're no longer ruled by them. Thoughts come and go like drifting clouds, some light, some stormy. But the sky behind them remains untouched, vast, open, clear. And the most beautiful part? You are that sky. Mindfulness, letting go of the ego, seeing impermanence, or simply breathing with intention. None of it is about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you already are, whole, aware, and enough. You don't have to wait to be perfect before you begin. You just have to start, right here, right now. Maybe with a quiet breath, a moment of stillness, a thought noticed without judgment. Pick one lesson from today and begin with that. Today. Even 5 minutes a day, done with care and consistency, can plant the seeds of profound change. And if something in this video touched you, a phrase, an image, a silence that felt like coming home, don't keep it to yourself. Please like this video, share it with someone who needs a gentle reminder of their own inner peace. And subscribe to this channel so we can keep creating and growing a space where mindfulness, compassion, and healing can reach more lives each day. Because who knows, one night, someone may stumble upon this video, and it might be exactly what they need to get through. And maybe, just maybe, you will be the reason that seed of peace was planted. Remember, every thought is a crossroad. You can react out of habit or choose peace. You can rush forward or return gently to the stillness within. And in every small choice, you're rewriting your relationship with your own mind. You're creating freedom. Come back to this video anytime you need to, when your heart feels heavy, when your thoughts feel loud, or when you simply want to breathe together in quiet presence. This channel isn't just content. It's a place to return to, a space for you. Thank you for being here, wholeheartedly, quietly, honestly. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, slow down, breathe deep, and remember, peace isn't far away. It's right here, waiting in this very moment.